Hello, book people. PT here. Today, I want to talk to you about a haunted house book, and that is The Family Plot by Cherie. This came out just a few weeks ago, and it's a really interesting concept for this Halloween season, so I want to tell you about it. It's a haunted house book that does a couple of things that I've never really seen done in a haunted house book or movie before. So I want to talk to you about those. Cherie is the author kind of best known for the Bone Shaker series of steampunk novels, which I've only read the first one of, but I really enjoyed. Also, she lives in Eastern Tennessee, which is kind of the part of the state that I live in here. And this book takes place in Eastern Tennessee, so maybe I was predisposed to like it a lot, partly for those reasons. But really, I think it was some of the unique things in the story that really made me enjoy it. So the story of this book is this woman named Delilah. She works for her father's company, which is Music City Salvage. They're a salvage company, and they are giving the job of going into this old house that's about to be torn down, and they're going to salvage as much as they can from it. Anything valuable, so like the hardwood, the beautiful fireplaces, antique doors, antique fixtures, anything like that that they can pull out of the house and resell. Their job is to, over the course of 3 or 4 days, to go in and take all that stuff out. I loved that concept because many times when I see horror haunted house movies or haunted house books, I often think, like, after they go through the backstory of like 4 or 5 families have been haunted in this place for over the course of 100 years, I always think they should probably just tear down this house at this point. And that's literally what's happening here. Is they're about to tear down this house, and these people are the last ones that are going to go in before the wrecking ball comes or whatever. Probably not a wrecking ball. I don't know how they tear down old houses, but they're the last ones who are going to go in there before this happens. The other thing I really enjoyed about this story is it's had a really unique outlook on like the way that people react to when the supernatural things start happening. And that is when the ghosts start showing up. Nobody really freaks out. Basically, this company does this a lot. These guys go into a lot of old houses, and it's really interesting. They kind of all have the worldview of like spirits and ghosts probably do exist and live in some of these old places, but at the same time, they're not super comfortable with it. They're not like talking about, oh, another ghost. They all kind of just like silently don't talk about it, but accept, all right, there's something supernatural going on in here, like a lot of the old houses that we visit. And they don't really freak out until things start getting a little bit more violent and they start learning a little bit more about what these spirits want and what they're up to. So I really enjoyed that. I've never seen quite that exact approach before. I will say the pacing in this is a little bit, it's kind of a slow build, which I really liked. It takes a while before anything supernatural happens in the book. There's the slow build of, you learn that the company's is running out of money and they need this job to stay open, and then it kind of gets into the nitty-gritty of how they're going to salvage this house, which I found fascinating. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff, so it was real fascinating to learn about how they're going to tear down this house. And there's a really slow build of the tension before finally that tension is released when the supernatural stuff starts happening. So I loved that pacing. Some people might think it's a little slow, but for me, I really enjoyed it. So that is The Family Plot by Cherie. If you're looking for a creepy book to read this Halloween season, I would highly recommend this one. It was the most fun I've had reading a haunted house book in a long time. So check it out. If this is your first time watching my channel, please consider subscribing. I put out new book reviews on Mondays and new comic reviews on Thursdays. Here's a couple videos you might like. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.